Does any game pace the side quests along the main story well? Disco Elysium did it pretty well, IMO. I think that the best games when it comes to pacing side quests blur the line between what is main quest and side quest, and that's what happens in Disco Elysium. Witcher 1 and Witcher 2 are also really good at that. Witcher 3 is not. The Bethesda games aren't really great at that either, although maybe Skyrim's okay. I think it's going to be... So this game has the same kind of problem that all those other games have, which is that you have a very pressing main quest, and yet you're still doing a bunch of side quests for no real reason. Like even earlier in the game, you're like, well, I want to try and find a cure for my sister who's sick.
The ferryman has abandoned his post.
And now it's like my sister is missing, and you should be spending most of your time looking for them, but instead you're doing a bunch of bullshit, and it just doesn't fit very well. But that's like story pacing, or I guess it still is pacing. If you have a really good excuse to just go around doing a bunch of stuff, I feel like it's easier to accept the pacing of doing a bunch of distractions. Whereas if there's something more pressing you should do instead, then I think it feels worse. I feel like Fallout 4 really missed a really cool opportunity to contextualize that choice. I speak about that in the Fallout 4 video. I think that would have been like an amazing moment of gameplay harmony with story, but they didn't do it. They didn't see the opportunity. It seemed really obvious to me too.
Guess that means we're walking.
Regarding the issue, does Baldur's Gate 3 do it well overall? No. Baldur's Gate 3 suffers from the same kind of situation as this, right? Like, there's a very pressing matter in Baldur's Gate 3. Spoilers for the beginning of Baldur's Gate 3. You have a parasite that's living in your brain that might, like, blow up or turn you into some monster at any moment. And you're just, la la la, time to go do a bunch of bullshit. Like, it's not really that great. A lot of the gameplay systems in Baldur's Gate 3 are kind of at odds with what you're going through the story at the moment. You have to make some bad decisions. Like just resting at camp and making pastime is bad. After all, it makes sense. Yes, after a while it makes sense when you realize that there's like no actual pressing matter to it, or well, there is, but there's like a reason why you can ignore it. Yeah, but at the beginning, no. I mean, all the characters get mad at you daily, so they acknowledge. Well, even that is kind of weird, right? Like. So what do you want the player to do? Not do the side content? You put a bunch of the shit in that you're not supposed to do? It doesn't feel right, right? I agree with but the good thing about Baldur's Gate 3 side quests is they also help you progress and respond to the main story. I would say that it would be good if it wasn't for the tadpole. No game would have the balls to something like Deus Ex Human Revolution intro, but for the main part of the game. Yeah, if you don't know that, there's an interesting thing that Human Revolution does in the prologue. It's the first one after the prologue. If you take too long in the staging area of Human Revolution, there's a hostage situation, and you're meant to go in and deal with the hostage situation at one of the factories that your company owns. And if you take too long fucking about in the building at the beginning, in the office, talking to people, talking to Pritchard, and going through all the rooms and everything, I think they start executing some of the hostages. Like the time that you're faffing around actually matters. The problem with Deus Ex Human Revolution is I don't think it ever does anything like that ever again. Oh, there is you can save someone if you are fast. Maybe there's more in that game than I remember. I haven't played that in so long. Holy shit. In the beginning of Baldur's Gate 3, I actually thought it was if I long rest will progress the infection, so I played without long resting and missed a ton of game content for a while. I also did that. Yeah, you can see that on stream actually. Yeah. HBOM also has a video on Human Revolution. Yeah, I watched it. I once sent a tweet to him being like, do not do in defense of Deus Ex Invisible War. Do not do it in defense of Deus Ex Invisible War. What a shit fucking game that was. Okay. Such a disappointment. Cyberpunk 2077 is also awful at that. I don't know what it is. Again, to speak about this in Witcher 3 video, and I propose that it might be a fucking joke. I don't know what it is about open world games giving you like a really, really pressing main quest. Someone's missing, you're gonna die or whatever, and then just giving you like a world full of distractions that pass the time, but not really. You have time pressure in Disco Elysium, but it works because you're investigating. I feel like there isn't like is there time pressure in Disco Elysium? I feel like a lot of things you do in Disco Elysium are not really that long. Like there's not like quests like you do in other games. It's just kind of talking to people and just gathering information. Like what did you see? Like you have it because of what you're doing. You have an excuse to talk to almost everyone and like look around and snoop, right? I guess there might be some parts that go on a little bit too long in Disco Elysium, but I don't think there's anything like where you trek across like the whole entire country and you fight some monsters or whatever. Like because of the small scale of the map, I think it worked. What would you say is the least pressing main quest you can think of? New Vegas, maybe? In an open world game? New Vegas has some amount of pressure, but it depends on what your character thinks of it. So the inciting incident in New Vegas is that you were making a delivery and then Matthew Perry shows up and shoots you in the head and steals the thing that you were delivering. And then I guess you could, so you want to get the delivery back, but you also want revenge. But you could also just say that I don't care that he did this to me. Like spoilers from New Vegas. Like when you finally find Matthew Perry, like you can fuck him if you want. Like you can roleplay someone that doesn't give a shit that you got shot in the head by Matthew Perry. So like I don't know if that counts as pressing. I guess it depends on what you think about it. But it does try and put some pressure on you about trying to find revenge, or at least getting the delivery back that you were given. But you can meander if you want a little bit. That's the part you bring up. Well, I mean, it's a good example of how much, like, if you roleplay, you can just be like, I don't hold a grudge or whatever, right? Do you think a big open world game with an actual time limit could work? Yeah, I think so, yeah. There probably is a game that's like that. I can't think of it right now, though. I would say the bigger problem that New Vegas has as an open world game is that unless you really know what you're doing, or you're willing to glitch the game out, you can't really explore it like an open world. Like you have to go all the way down to the south, then go east, and then go north up to the strip. Like you can run past the Cazadors if you want, you can run past the Deathclaws if you want, but someone who's new is probably not going to be able to pull that off. And it does feel like you're kind of breaking things out of sequence by doing that. New Vegas doesn't let you wander around nearly as much as Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 do, and some people like that. Some people like the more direction and the more like structure to wandering around in a world like that, or more direction, focus wandering, I guess. Yeah, there's a bunch of side attractions as you're following the trail. I think the open world's kind of shit in New Vegas. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I like it, but I think as an open world game, it's not that strong, even if it is a really good game. Fallout 76 doesn't have that much of a pressing main quest, right? Like, I think Fallout 76 allows you to wander around a bunch. Again, I'm sorry to be this kind of person. Fallout 76 might be better now, but like, if you really like the Bethesda wandering games, like if you really love just getting lost in Fallout 3, Skyrim, Fallout 4, Fallout 76 is actually a pretty good time. Fallout 76 might have the best Bethesda map that they've ever made for just like getting distracted and wandering around and collecting quests and shit to do. It just doesn't have like a really great story when it comes to NPCs to talk to and shit like that, but it does have a story that you can find and talk to and read logs on computers and shit like that. Yeah, it's just really the problem with Fallout 76 was that it was just a buggy fucking mess rather than anything else. I wonder if the main quest doesn't have any urgency to it. Does it deserve to be a main quest? I think you can have main quests without urgency, but I think something with urgency in a game with a bunch of distractions, that's when it becomes a problem. Because if it really is that urgent, you should be doing it, and it doesn't make sense that your character wouldn't do it. And there's lots and lots of examples of that in open world games. Like you can make something important without it being urgent. Outer Wilds is like that. Outer Wilds is important, but it's not urgent. But that has a special framing of it. So, you know, you can take as long as you want. Like, what is it? Like, imagine Fallout 3. Fallout 3 is probably a better example of how you could fix it with a little tweak. Let's say that this would be frustrating to some players though, but it would make it work. Is that Fallout 3 you could have, okay, so you're trying to find your dad who left the vault, but let's just imagine that you don't have a lead. Like you just don't know where he went. So now it's like, okay, it's an open world game and my job is to find my dad, but I have no idea where he is. So I'm just gonna go to place and just talk to people and get into trouble and like find some quests and do favors for people, and then eventually I'm just gonna find a lead somewhere, right? There are some people that played Fallout 3 and they have actually they've stumbled onto the first major part of finding the father in a vault somewhere, because they were just wandering around. They had no idea that it was part of the main quest. And all of a sudden they found their dad and they're like, oh shit, I just stumbled upon where he was, without following the leads. So you have something that's urgent and important to the character. You want to find your father, but if you don't have any leads, then okay, now you're justified in just kind of faffing around and learning the lay of the land and what's this place like. And sure, I do want to find him, but I can still do all the side quests and engage with all the content. But just having the lead that you're ignoring is the problem there. Whereas that doesn't work in Fallout 4 because instead of trying to find your dad who intentionally left you behind, in Fallout 4 you're trying to find your baby that was kidnapped in front of you after your spouse got shot in the fucking head. So like there's no amounts of I don't have a lead, so I guess I'll just do whatever I want for the next fucking couple of years, and if I somehow find a lead on my son that's gone missing, then okay, I guess I'll go do that. Like if you don't have a lead, you would be like rushing into town, gun pointed at every single person's face and being like, did you see the fucking guy that fucking stole my bait? Like it doesn't make sense there, where it would with the father one, I think. Is it an issue, however? I feel like this is not a main problem with Bethesda stories. You can suspend your disbelief, well, okay, I'm doing open world stuff now. In Cyberpunk 2077, you are literally like dying. Like, you have a chip in your head that is going to kill you in very, very soon, and instead of trying to deal with that and fix it, you will just do, like, I'm just gonna do every side quest in the city and go do some brain dances. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So that's why it's an issue for me. Like, in Witcher 3, like, basically your daughter is in trouble and might be killed any day, and you know how important and dire this is, but yet you're gonna go around and just do every single quest and every single part, even though you don't really need the money. It's like, yeah, that's a problem to me. Which I talk about for, I don't know, like maybe 3 minutes in the Witcher 3 video.